How are you doing today, Colin?
Hello, I'm doing well. How are you, Stefan?
Yeah, really good, thanks. One of the sort of themes in this movie that I really enjoyed was this kind of idea of looking at America with a kind of foreign eye and sort of seeing it for its kind of cinematic beauty, which obviously originates and is born out of a nostalgia from watching movies growing up. There are so many of which are set, obviously, in the very familiar streets of LA and New York and
Yep.
stuff. As an American yourself, did you see America on cinematic terms, or is it just very different when you're from there?
Wow. Yeah. It's fascinating because you definitely don't see it that way when you're living in Los Angeles and when you're living amongst Americans all the time. But what I did really appreciate about this is there's like this romanticized version that is actually the reality of living in Los Angeles and being in this world, in this industry. And I think it took, ironically, seeing it through French eyes to really appreciate it. I, as an American, romanticize the French. I mean, you go to Paris to fall in love, and you take a photo in front of the Eiffel Tower, and it's just this wonderful romantic experience. But it was nice to see it America in a different way, because I think over the last few years, especially, and I'm not going to drop any names, but there's been a little bit of a bad reputation being an American, and I think. For the French to really pay their respects like Lisa did. It felt really good, and I was very proud to be the token American in the film.
Yeah, I mean, but you get quite a lot of them, Europeans making films in the US or over here where I am
Sure.
in the UK, but you very rarely get it the other way around. Do you have any ambitions to one day go and make films in places like France? I don't just mean sort of making films in France, but like making actual kind of French movies.
Absolutely. I mean, this was a first step for me. The reality is I don't speak I don't speak French. I want to learn more languages just for this reason alone, because I do believe you're seeing it more and more just if you're going to take the top films that are getting nominated for Oscars now. There's clearly this appreciation for international cinema that needs to happen, and I'm glad it's happening on a global scale. But it takes time, and I think honestly, I think working in an environment where I'm filming right now at the moment in Budapest, but it's still a very much an American project, and you can feel it. And I would love to do more of this, because I think also working in Paris for the short period of time that we were there on a French set, doing a French film, there was just this sense of ease. It was just a different experience. And then to see the reception of it in Paris and being a part of all this experience, I mean, it was very similar, but it was also an extraordinarily different experience for me. So yes, I would most certainly want to try to continue on this trajectory.
I'm sure you've spoken about her plenty of times today, but what was it like collaborating with Sophie on this? Because I mean, she's obviously she's a real icon of French cinema, and she's been in some of the greatest, most brilliant films of the last kind
She
of like
has.
couple of
Yeah.
decades. And you obviously most of your scenes with her. But what was she like as a screen partner?
She couldn't have been a better partner. I mean, from the very get-go, meeting her in person beforehand and having just normal conversations about life and relationships, to actually getting to work with her, it's a very much a collaboration. She is not set in her ways. She loves to make mistakes and learn from the mistakes. I think that's what's really special about working with anyone who's revered and iconic in any way, is you put them on this pedestal that they're perfect, and then you get the opportunity to work with someone like her, and you see just how much the flaws are what makes her this endearing, lovable thing, because she's so fearless in being wrong and making a fool out of herself. I think that's really a quality that very few people possess. But man, is she charming, and is she beautiful. I'm just so lucky that I got to do this with her. I get to brag to all my friends. It's pretty awesome.
We have just obviously seen you as well recently get hit over the head in an ambulance. So I'm just wondering about, but no, I really liked your part in that. And I did the interviews for that a couple of weeks ago. I was lucky
Oh,
enough
you did?
to Michael and Jake and Isa and everyone. And
Oh, awesome.
they all,
Nice.
I mean, all the cast that I spoke to spoke so highly of their experience working with Michael Bay. And I think Jake Gyllenhaal sort of really cites him as being a real auteur, just in a different way to that we know. I just wondered what your experience was, and if you agree with your co-stars.
Yeah, completely. I mean, every day is unpredictable. That's the beauty of working with someone like him, is he is full of surprises. He invokes this chaotic energy. I think that's something that I was so not anticipating, and also like I don't think anyone could recreate it, because what he's able to do is take a normal film crew and set and actors and then just like evoke all of this like commotion and capture it in a beautiful way that is like pulsating. I mean, honestly, if you've seen the film, it's like you can tell it's the energy never drops. I was kind of blown away by it. I will say I was exhausted, and I didn't even have to work half the amount that Jake and Yaya and Asa had to work, but just to do that kind of work every single day, where you're kind of not even sure what you're doing and if you're doing it right and all that stuff, you kind of in over your head. But yeah, I'm honored to be able to say that I work with them.
Yeah, Team Michael.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Thank you so much for your time today, Colin. Best of luck with the release of the movie, and I'm sure
really appreciate the question, Stefan. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey You Guys.